We are standing in historic downtown Abbeville at Magdalen Square, and this was a square that was put together by Pierre-Antoine Migret, who was the founder of Abbeville. He wanted a square where people could come and visit and relax, just like in his home place of France. And it is a beautiful place. We love it. We love our oak trees, our magnolia trees. We have many activities here. This is where our Daylily Festival is going to be. And we have our gazebo in the background where the Abbeville Garden Club will be having an information booth for the Daylily Festival.
The Daylily Festival and Garden Show started in 2002 by a friend of Main Street who suggested that we have the perfect place to hold events. And so she wanted to do a plant swap once a month. Well, we thought that was a pretty good idea, so we partnered with the Chamber and with the LSU Ag Center. And when we met with the Ag Center, he reminded us that we had such a strong horticulture background in Vermilion Parish, and we were pretty world-renowned with our daylilies. And so thus the Daylily Festival began. And we were thrilled the first year to have so many people show up and to have so many vendors participate with us. And it's been growing and it's been wonderful ever since. We consider Magdalen Square the heart of the community. And around there's the Depot, which is a gift store. We have St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church behind me that's open. It's a beautiful church. The Cultural Center is open and they'll have artwork and exhibits that you can see. And the Vermilion Parish Courthouse, which is a Haystown design, which is a gorgeous asset to our downtown community.
They can walk around and visit restaurants that we have in our area, like Como's Cafe is open every Saturday morning for breakfast. And across the river we have Parks Restaurant, who serves a very good breakfast also. When you're coming in on 167, you could come in early, have breakfast, and then come on to the square. And as you walk around, we have the Depot, which is a very nice gift shop. And we have our historic buildings, like our courthouse, that people can go and look at. We also have our historical blacksmith shop that they can go and visit.
We primarily focus on daylily vendors. We have like 7 daylily vendors. We have nurseries, and we have people who specialize in orchids, in plumerias, in bougainvillea and bromeliads. So we have a lot of exotic and specialty plants. And along with that, we have pottery. We have everything that you would need for your yard. Lots of beautiful yard art. We have soil that'll be for sale. So anything that you need in your gardening will be available, along with food vendors, of course. And we have a few craft people, some jewelry makers. So you could, if you're not a gardener, you still can come to the square and have a wonderful day.
Plants just make people happy, especially if they're performing well. We do have plants around our square. Our garden club takes care of 4 planters that we have here at Magdalen Square. And we want other people to enjoy their plants, and healthy plants. So we're going to be promoting taking care of plants and growing plants that will be easy to take care of in Louisiana. Some of our Abbeville Garden Club members have gone through the Master Gardener program through the LSU Ag Center. They are Master Gardeners, and they'll be manning the booth and helping out if there are any questions that people ask. We'll also have many pamphlets, and our main pamphlets will be concerning the super plants that are promoted by the LSU Ag Center. This is a program where for 3 years, the LSU Ag Center studies plants that are good for our southwest Louisiana weather. And they look at how they perform for 3 years in the heat of the summer, the cold of our winter, which is not that cold except for this year, and are they heat tolerant and drought tolerant for the summertime. And so we'll be promoting those super plants, promoting the pamphlets, but we'll also have many other LSU Ag pamphlets that talk about plants that you might be interested in and also problems you may have.
I will be giving a talk during the Daylily Festival on vegetable container gardening. This is going to be an informative and a demonstration so that the people coming can find out how to start growing vegetables in containers in their backyards, in the smaller backyards that most people have nowadays. Some of the points I think that is very important are making sure that the size container that they use is appropriate to how big the plant they could be planting in. Also the right mixture of soils, a soil that will help to hold on moisture so that they don't have to water it so often. And then fertilizing practices, picking the right plant, making sure it's not a plant that gets large, maybe a patio plant or something, a semi-dwarf plant that will not overshadow or overpower the container that's growing in. Another thing that I want to talk to them about would also be knowing the difference between a disease and an insect, because a lot of times people they'll spray something for one thing and it's the wrong material. So I want to try to educate them on the difference between those two things and basically cover things about sunlight, watering, and things like that. I will be bringing some handouts from the Extension Service that will go in detail about growing vegetables in containers. But some best advice that I can give someone is to pay attention to the leaves on your plant. And I think in a container the most limiting factor is moisture, because the roots are only developing into a small area, not into the whole outdoor gardens. So knowing what a wilted leaf looks before it gets too bad and watering it properly is very important. And the placement of a container underneath a plastic container to catch the water, because a lot of the soil mixes that are used, the water goes right through and the person's watering the next day and say, oh my God, what happened? So if you put a container where the water can come back into the soil profile from the bottom, is very nice, but at the same time that water should not stay in that container at the bottom longer than a day after you've done that, or you will get what we call wet feet and maybe some soil-borne fungal attacking the roots and having problems. But it surely does help reduce the frequency of watering when you have such a container underneath the pot. Containers can be anything. It can be something very fancy that you get at a garden center, or it could be just a Folgers coffee pot with holes drilled in it just to plant different things. And that's what I want to let people know. You don't have to have the biggest and the best to grow a good quality vegetable crop in a container. I believe my presentation will be around 9:30 on Saturday of the festival. So it will be on the poster where they can read about it. But if they get to the Culture Center around 9 o'clock, I think that'd be a good time.
Saturday, May 31st is the Daylily Festival from 8:30 to 3. Our first speaker in the Cultural Center adjacent to the square is at 9:30. The children's education session is at 10:30, and the vendors will be here till 3 and ready to service your needs and to sell all their wares.
Many people will be represented. Some are Daylily enthusiasts who have started propagating their own plants and pollinating their own plants. There are some businesses, some nurseries who will come, and they will have daylilies, yes, but they will have other beautiful plants that they will be selling that will grow in Louisiana and make people happy. We will be having Mr. Dan Davenport, as you have asked him before, talking about container gardenings. And then we will have a workshop for children on flat tire flower pots. We're going to promote recycling, as we always do in Abbeville. We promote reducing, reusing, and recycling. So we're going to take flower pots that we will help the children make from old recycled tires. We're going to help them fill it up with soil and plant a plant that they can bring home. We are limited to 25 children, so we're spreading the word, and first come, first serve. We're looking forward to that workshop.
Is there a phone number or some way they can contact you for more information?
Yes, I'll give you two numbers. 337-893-2491 is the chamber office, or 337-652-2239, which is my number, and we would love to answer your questions.